Shalom. I want to give all praises and honor and glory to the only true God of heaven and earth, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, whose true name is Yahweh, and to his only begotten Son, the Messiah, the Lamb that taketh away the sins of Israel, whose true name is Yahweh Shai. And double honors to my elders and teachers in Great Millstone, and honors to all the prophets and teachers that carry the spirit of faith and truth within them. My name is Zechariah. Hear my speech concerning the truth. That is the word of the living God. Consider the inward man, the inward state, the state of your mind, your spirit, how that influence your direction in life. And this is true. In fact, Yahweh Shai taught this in a roundabout way. Yahweh Shai taught this. This is scriptural. Luke chapter 11, verse 34. The light of the body is the eye. The eye is a reference to your mind, to your spirit, your inward man. And it's being compared to a candle. Now, what does a candle do? Being set in whatever room, in whatever place, it illuminates the entire space. The light spreads throughout the entire space. So your inward man, your mind, your heart, your spirit, the seat, the place of your thoughts, of your desires, your interests, even your emotions, heavily influence the things that you do outwardly, your actions, your deeds, even the things that you speak. It all starts from within. Therefore, when thine eye is single, in other words, if you are focused, you're one-minded, on this truth, on that good thing that is the word, on serving Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. That's what being single is, ultimately being one-minded. In this case, being one-minded towards the good part. And that's these spiritual things. Thy whole body also is full of light. In other words, your directions in life is influenced from your inward state. It begins in that inner place, shall I say. You know, the things that you do, even the things that you say, it begins from within. It comes from within. And you think about wickedness, you think about evil, you think about sin. Even when you do it, for we sin, we have sin. We fall short, we slip up. But consider the thoughts that you may have, the emotions that you may have before you sin. And I'm not just talking about maybe the lusts or the desires, whatever, that lead up to you bringing forth your sin. Before you even think about or you even lust, you have those feelings and those passions that ultimately lead to sin. Before that, maybe a day before or 2 days before, maybe you are down in the spirit. You're depressed about your circumstances. You have no courage, no boldness and faith towards God. Maybe you're distrusting him. Maybe you're ignoring him, ignoring the truth, ignoring the prophecies. Maybe you're becoming feeble. You're losing patience. Maybe you're angry towards God. And that little wickedness or that little measure that is starting from within spreads throughout your life. That is your actions, your behaviors, your deeds. So your mind, your spirit, your heart, it has to be well kept. It has to be well taken care of. Because it is the source of your life. It says thy whole body also is full of light. So when you're single-minded on these spiritual things, on serving the Lord, on the good, then the only thing you will do is good. The only way to persist in righteousness and good works and serving the Lord is if you persist in faith, in boldness, and courage, and trusting God, in sincerity, in hopefulness. In the fear of the Lord. And also, on the contrast, if you become discouraged, start doubting, you start tempting God, you start become stubborn or inattentive towards these spiritual things, towards this truth, towards prophecy, towards serving the Lord, then it won't just stay there. It will spread throughout your life. But when thine eye is evil, thy whole body also is full of darkness. So your eye, that is your mind, it is the source of your life. So take heed to the condition, the state of what's going on within. Of your inward man, of your thoughts, of your mind, even of your emotions. Because there's such things as good emotions, Rejoice. Forget not to joy in the Lord, man. Forget not to rejoice in the Lord. Forget not to be thankful. These positive emotions, that is righteous and acceptable before God. Forget not to have these things. Verse 35, take heed, therefore, that the light which is in thee be not darkness. So take heed that your mind, your heart, your spirit be not evil. Be not wicked, be not malicious. A forward thought can separate you from God. How can someone discouraged in God bring forth good fruit? The scriptures tell you that the thoughts of man are miserable, which miserable means inadequate. And sometimes we gotta take heed to those thoughts. These thoughts weigh us down. Certain thoughts, certain emotions, certain things that can in your world, can induce certain thoughts, emotions. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 3. For forward thoughts separate from God. So these evil thoughts can separate you from God, man. Since your heart, your mind, it is a source, of your goings in life. Then start there. If any man wants to repent, want to get right, start from within. Really plain and simple. I just wanted to touch on that. I want to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai Shalom.